Good morning.
Morning.
It's great to see all of you. My name is Jean Kukuza, and I'm worship associate here and I'm so happy to see all of you, and welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Church of Berks County. This is a special day to celebrate freedom, and we're very happy that Pat's family and friends are here also to celebrate it. And freedom is really what we're about here as a Unitarian Universalist. Uh, we are free to believe to find our own way. We have a set of shared values, but not dogma. We're free from dogma. And whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are at this moment, we're so happy to have you here with you. We welcome you. As we're gathering, I want to extend a special welcome to anyone visiting, as I said, with us this morning. If you haven't already, please take a moment to fill out one of our green visitors cards and join us after the service for a celebration after the service. Those joining online, please take a minute to write your name in the chat box and let us know where you're joining us from this morning. You'll find the UU Berks web address in that chat box and a link to today's order of service. You can sign up on the webpage for our weekly e-newsletter. For new families and our youngest members, there are a few options for being present in worship this morning. There's children's space at the back of the sanctuary with Miss Erin. There she is, keeping an eye on things. You may sit in the pews with your parents. There's also quiet nursery space just off the sanctuary through the door, that way. And the service is streamed in there, at least you can hear it. So let's take a moment to greet each other with a wave or a namaste or a smile. And as you do, please wave toward the cameras and greet our online folks.
Good morning. My name is Paduribe Lichty. I use she and her. This is the time for you to light your chalice, if you have one at home, while our chalice is lit in the sanctuary. We light this chalice in gratitude to those who came before us, in the long line of people who dared to think and speak and live and love differently than those living around them. We light it in memory of those who died for living and thinking and speaking and loving differently, and recognizing that we are all part of all other living beings, and indeed of the rocks and the waters of the earth itself. We light this chalice to honor those moments in which we ourselves made a choice to live in freedom. Please rise in body or spirit and join in our opening hymn, number 6, Just as Long as I Have Breath.
Just as long as I have breath, I must answer yes to life. Though with pain I made my way, still with hope I meet each day. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to life. Just as long as vision lasts, I must answer yes to truth. In my dream and in my dark, always that elusive spark. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to truth. Just as long as my heart beats, I must answer yes to love. Disappointment pierced me through, still I kept on loving you. If they ask what I did best, tell them I said yes to love. So, our story that I'm about to tell from India involves a community of birds. I'm curious, what would a symphony of birds sound like? Excellent, yes! Picking it up on it. Maybe it's a caw, maybe it's a tweet tweet. Come on. What does this symphony sound like? What does your bird sound like? Can I hear it, please? Excellent. Okay. So, bottle that all up because it's going to need to happen in just a little bit. So you got to listen for when the bird symphony starts to happen. Are we ready? Are we ready? Okay. And sometimes, oh, here we are. One of the birds is a really good whistler. Is there a good whistler here? Fantastic. Okay. Even better. Okay. We're ready. Okay. Ooh. And here's one that we can all do. There's a big whoosh. Fantastic, okay. So, a dark cloud of worry spread throughout the forest. No longer were the hunters satisfied with capturing birds in their snares one at a time. They had developed a new technology, you see. They were taking long strands of fiber and crisscrossing them, one strand over the other, and tying the strands fast at those intersections. What were they making?
A net.
Nets. They were making nets. Now, instead of capturing a single bird with the technology they used to have, with these nets, oh my, they could capture a handful, a dozen, hundreds of them all at once. And the birds that escaped this new invention were frightened. What could they do? Some birds lost hope. It's pointless, they peeped with their feeble voices. Do we have some feeble bird sounds we could have? It's pointless. There's no way we can escape this horror. We might as well give up right now. And others got busy building their muscle strength and sharpening their bills. If I get caught, boasted these birds. We have some boastful birds today. Boastful birds. Ho, ho, ho. If I get caught, boasted these birds, I'll be able to cut my way free. I'll be strong enough to fly away. It was encouraging to hear hope, but not all of the birds liked the brazen approach of the strong birds. Some said of those birds, if I escape while others die, my life will be filled with unhappiness. So a meeting was called, and the birds talked back and forth. And back and forth and back and forth and back and forth they talked, and at last, the birds had a plan. And sure enough, it wasn't long before they had a chance to test it out. Beep, beep. Many birds heard the call of a distress call. Who was it? Birds of all shape and size flew toward the sound. They landed on the branches of the big tree. But where was the injured bird? They couldn't see it. And suddenly, they were trapped beneath a net. They were trapped beneath a net. It was a trick, and now they could barely move. Some of the birds panicked and cried out. And others remained calm, and soon a whisper ran through the flock of birds that had been caught. We have a whispering birds. Tweet, 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 tweet. Take a deep breath. Remember our plan. When the king of birds sings, let us all flap our wings. The whisper repeated. Can we do that together? Take a deep breath. Remember our plan. When the king of birds sings, let us all flap our wings. So the birds breathed in, and the king of birds sang. And the birds began to flap our wings. It was hard work. When it began to feel impossible for some birds, they looked over at their neighbors who were hard at work and felt encouraged. They continued to flap their wings, and suddenly they lifted right out of that tree. They rose higher and higher into the sky, carrying the whole net with them. The king whistled a plaintive note once more. And the birds tilted their bodies to the side in unison, as though they were one, and the net slid off their backs and dropped to the ground. After that, a new melody could be heard in the forest. There's strength in unity. There is strength in unity. Can I hear that all from all of our birds? There's strength in unity. That is the story of how the birds met their worst fears. It is the story of how we can meet ours. Or is it? It really depends on the choices the birds and really all of the characters make, doesn't it? Yeah. And so, like many fables, this one depends on who's telling it and who's making those choices. So our first ending, that there is strength and unity, that is one ending that we can have together, right? If we choose that for ourselves. Or, and that's the ending that Faye Morganson gives us, and in an anthology series that I shared this story from. Or there's a different ending from the book of the Panchatantra. Here's that ending. Let's go back to the birds. Can I hear our birds? Excellent. In the Panchatantra, the birds are trapped once more. They cannot free themselves from the net. And again, the king remained calm. And now he called for his friend Mouse. Please, Mouse, will you set us free? And Mouse agreed and immediately began to chew at the net next to the king. No, you must set the others free first. It is only right if I release you, the king of birds, first, says the mouse. But I won't truly be free unless my subjects are also free. So the mouse nibbled at the net with its sharp teeth, and once he had set all of the other birds free, he released the king. And the birds were happy to stretch their wings once more, and before flying off home, they bowed together in gratitude to their friend, the mouse. It's all about the choices we make. But who is the we? Here's a different ending from another set of stories, the Jataka. So the birds escape, just like our first telling. And the birds are so happy. Can I hear some happy birds? They have escaped once more. It's lovely. It's wonderful. And in this version, they escape, but not once, not twice, not 3 times, but over and over and over they escape, outsmarting the hunter each time. But eventually, an argument breaks out. And in their distraction, in this argument, without clear leadership, the birds, after escaping so many times before, are captured and can't escape. It depends on the choices we make, friends. Our freedom is wrapped up with one another.
It's part of our collective spiritual practice as a community to enter into a prayerful meditation time each week. We call this joys and sorrows. We share what's painful in our lives and what's going well. We share our joys and our sorrows. You're invited to take a few minutes to reflect on what you're carrying in your heart and mind. Those who are online may share their joys and sorrows in the chat box. And those who are on site are invited to come forward and place stones in our common bowl in silence for your joys and sorrows. Let us now sing Spirit of Life as we share ourselves with one another. We hold these meditations in our heart in compassion. Blessed be. May the grief you witness, the compassion you bring, and the joy you notice open your heart to the unfolding of life. May you know that you are part of an independent web of life and love, that you are held in compassion and peace.
Our reading today is from Howard Zinn. To be hopeful in bad times is not just foolishly romantic. It is based on the fact that human history is a history not only of cruelty, but also of compassion, sacrifice, courage, and kindness. What we choose to emphasize in this complex history will determine our lives. If we see only the worst, it destroys our capacity to act. If we remember those times and places, and there are so many, where people have behaved magnificently, there is the possibility of sending the spinning top of the world in a different direction. And if we do act, in however small a way, we don't have to wait for some grand utopian future. The future is an infinite succession of presents, and to live now as we think human beings should live, in defiance of all that is bad around us, is itself a marvelous victory. I don't like straight anything. I stole this from Howard Zinn. Freedom is the ability to live one's life as one thinks one should. Freedom, real freedom, requires us to question the assumptions that surround us and find the courage to walk our own paths. 50 years ago, in April 1975, I sat in a rocking chair in an apartment in Midtown Manhattan. The heat was off and it was freezing. I looked at the wreckage of a marriage and I thought about my life. For the first time, I said to myself, I'm a lesbian. And once I recognized that, I realized that I needed to come out. The damage to our friends, our families, ourselves was too great and irresponsible. I didn't want to be a lesbian. I was 21. I'd been an anti-war activist since I was 16. By the time I got to New York City at 19, I was a feminist, which was not a popular thing to be in the early 1970s. I was a socialist, which was completely unacceptable. I told myself I was bisexual and would make the choice to be with men. Right. On that cold but brilliantly sunny day when I came out to myself, it didn't occur to me that I could be closeted. I was an activist. The only way that I knew to go about things was to convince the world to change its ways and to fight for justice. I didn't stop to outline the pros and cons of telling the world that I was a lesbian, but I knew what being an unpopular minority meant. For the next month, I focused on classwork, and nothing much changed. But the semester ended, and it was June. June around the world is Pride Month. All month long, there are Pride events. So not having a clue about what to expect, I took myself down to Christopher Street and began exploring the lesbian community. Almost immediately, I found the Lesbian Feminist Liberation Collective and was immersed into another world. This month and today, I'm celebrating the 50th anniversary of that step into my freedom. I know that some of you were not even born in 1975. It was 6 years after Stonewall, and while the gay movement was far more visible than it had been, even in Manhattan, it still consisted of a handful of people. At that time, the Unitarian Universalist Association was 5 years away from ordaining its first gay minister. Other than the United Church of Christ, all other denominations were debating whether or not to accept queer people as members. On a personal level, the mother of my godchild, my best friend from high school, ended our relationship because I was immoral. It was legal in New York City to discriminate against queer people in employment. I was fired from 3 jobs. It was legal to discriminate in housing. I was evicted twice. And it was legal to discriminate in public accommodations. I was asked to leave restaurants because we don't want your kind in here. More important was the reality that as a blatant lesbian, I could not work as a teacher or a social worker. Instead, I was an office temp. And finally, most of my family was quite cold to the idea. My parents tolerated but never really accepted me. My brothers were grimly silent for years. My sister, on the other hand, assuming I had a girlfriend, asked, "Well, when are you bringing her to meet us?" She was the only one. That was reality. Choosing to be an out lesbian was and is an act of choosing to be free. Yes, there were consequences, but one consequence that I never anticipated was the discovery of great joy. That joy came from finding a strong and vibrant community of women who had created their own freedom. We faced being ostracized, we faced discrimination, we faced danger. But we had each decided that in spite of all of that, we would be who we were, openly and proudly. The combination of feminism and lesbianism was a potent power. For those of us who were lucky enough to live in those times, it was exhilarating simply to be alive. The walls that had shut us off from each other and from our own power fell, and we sang and worked and wrote and cooked and marched as only the newly free can do. Think of the incredible accomplishments of the formerly enslaved peoples after the Civil War. It was like that in our community. I was fortunate to have been a part of it, mostly by accident, but also by choice. The price seems to be that Shangri-La did not last, and I have lived with the absence of that glory ever since. But I would never give up the experience of what we had in those few heady years. It was a rare time in human history when the formerly oppressed set themselves free and gloried in their power and their beauty. We knew how much we had because we were those who had gone before us. Our claim to liberation was our own, not something handed down to us. It was a claim new in history, based on our own experience, our own convictions, and limited only by our own imaginations. Eventually, as more and more people came out, it changed. Gay rights bills were passed, churches relented, some of them, and we started to assimilate, to fit in, to find spaces in the larger society where we could live. Those who came out later came out into a very different world, but always the LGBT alphabet soup requires the choice of how you will be out. Facing this choice and choosing freedom is the root of pride. To be free is always a choice. Too often we impose limits on our own pursuit of freedom. Rather than questioning what we are told, we accept society's ideas. Or our perceived need to be realistic, to be practical, clouds our vision of what we could be. When we choose what we think will be safer, a surer bet. And yet those choices, to be realistic, to be safe, have consequences also. Regret is brutal to live with. To be free, to live not as the world tells you is the way things have to be, but rather to live as you believe people should live, is an internal choice, not something imposed on us. It is a choice rooted in the knowledge that we are interdependent, that our choices affect other people, and that our actions create the world we live in. To be free is to have the faith that doing what is right matters immensely, and knowing that being true to one's own vision, one's own values, one's own self, leads to a life worth living. I'd like you all to move away from your pews and find groups of one or two other people to chat with. And we're going to have questions on the screen. But the first question I want you to think about is a time when you chose to live in freedom. When I ring the bowl, you'll have 1 minute to start sharing. So before I ring the bowl, figure out who's going to go first. Come on, people, move. Okay, you can start talking now. Move on to the next person. I'm sorry?
We're still on the first slide,
That was the first one, yeah.
but do you want them to switch now?
No, not yet.
Okay.
They need to go through,
We're just rotating people.
right. Okay, now repeat it for the second question. What were the consequences, unexpected consequences of that choice?
I think so. I just checked both my watch and my. Yeah, I know. I know it. I I think it's Pat. It's off.
Okay, could we rise now for our closing hymn?
No, we're not closing it.
318.
It's not closing. Not closing. It's not closing. You said
Oh, I forgot the offering.
no, 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 no. You're right. 318.
As a time to reflect on the choices of freedom and the consequences that might have arisen from that, and how we choose freedom together and for ourselves. We would be one. Please rise in body, rise in spirit, and raise your voices so we can all hear each other well. 318. We would be one as now we join in singing our hymn of love
As community of faith, we share what we can with one another. We offer ourselves through the ministries of this church by giving and receiving from one another. One of those gifts is our financial resources. Your financial generosity makes it possible for us to live out our principles in our church and beyond our doors, keeping hope and courage and forgiveness and compassion alive. You may make financial contribution online through the Giving app or by check. Those who are on site may place a check in the basket that's being passed around. This is time to share what you can. With gratitude, we give and we receive these gifts. With gratitude, great gratitude, we receive these gifts. Thank you. Important announcements and upcoming events can be found in the back of your order of service, in our weekly newsletter, The Inner Voice, at our website, and on our Facebook page. This week, we would like to highlight these upcoming events. No King's Day demo in Muhlenberg this Saturday at 12. Leaflets are on the table in the Gerber Room, or see Pat for more information. Please wear your yellow shirts and come out to support democracy. Also, this Saturday, Juneteenth, this Saturday, parade at 11 a.m., tabling from 12 to 3. Please use the Google form to sign up, and the QR code is on slides. Pastoral connection cards. Fill out joys, sorrows, concerns. Check if you want contact from Reverend John or the Caring Circle. You can also check if you want it shared from the pulpit the following Sunday. Now, our closing hymn. Please rise in body and spirit and join hands. If we could make a circle, possibly, and either join hands, touch elbows for our closing hymn, Circle Around for Freedom.
It's number 155, I believe, but the lyrics will be up on the board. Or if you would like to find a neighbor friend, and one of you wants to hold a hymnal and one of you wants to hold an elbow or a hand, that works too. Circle round for freedom. Well, one second. Because we did not get enough there. We're going to keep going and hearing the melody one more time while we get the slide up, please. So circle round for freedom. Circle round for peace. For all of us imprisoned. Circle for release. Circle for the planet. Circle for each soul. For the children of our children, keep the circle whole. Come join me, friends. Circle round for freedom. Circle round for peace. For all of us imprisoned. Circle for release. Circle for the planet. Circle for each soul. For the children of our children. Keep the circle whole. One more time. Circle round for freedom. Circle round for peace. For all of us imprisoned. Circle for release. Circle for the planet. Circle for each soul. For the children of our children. Keep the circle whole.
In that freedom, find the boldness to act with passion and faith, to live and love, think and speak as you believe people should. Amen, and so be it. And let's party.
Good morning.
Good morning, Richard. How are you?
Pretty well, thanks.
So you're a delegate to conference,
Yes, remotely.
but okay, you're all doing it virtually, right?
No, I am remote and virtual. The other three will all be in Baltimore.
Oh, they will. Okay,
Yes.
okay. Does that mean that you won't be doing our church service or
No, that Sunday should be um,
the
the
UU?
UUA
The
GA
G,
Sunday
right.
service.
Okay,
I'm not sure how we're going to structure that, whether you'll go online individually or whether we'll share it
with
kind of
them.
through this funnel.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Okay,
Yeah.
doesn't matter. I'll figure it out. I hope. I hope.
Well,
Yeah,
we'll figure it out ourselves and share it with you.
that's fine. That's fine. When is that? The end of the month.
It's just a second. Let me pull up my calendar.
It's all right. It's the
Okay.
end of this month sometime.
Yeah, actually, I benchmark it that it's always the week
There you
of
go.
Father's Day
Christians are
weekend.
very a lot
Right.
So
cooler
it
with you
starts the
Okay.
week
because they
following
actually work.
Father's Day
Okay.
weekend.
Okay.
And the things that you're not doing. That's right. A lot
Right.
of people don't know that.
And all the years are constantly in contact with the real thing.
So GA is the 18th
For
to
the
the
average person like
22nd.
me,
Right.
I would be
Okay.
confused.
Yeah.
For someone like you who wants to be an automotive mechanic one day, you'll understand it. Because you have a little history already into it with gears and everything.
Trying to figure out what mic is open.
The input shaft and
Mike,
the output shaft
can you kill the
are
mics?
like collinear with
Can
each
you
other.
kill the microphones? Thank you. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry about that, Richard. That was me.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. I'm signing off.
Well,
Goodbye.
okay. Take care.
Is anybody else on, or am I the only one?
At this point, you, Michelle, and myself, that's just a small group of three.
Oh, well. Good morning, Michelle. Doesn't
And
sound like she's on.
her mic is open. No, her mic is open, but her video feed is off.
I didn't look at my list, so
But she hasn't spoken up yet.
okay.
So she may have walked away
There
from the
we
room.
are.
Oh, yes,
She
we can
says,
hear you,
can
Michelle.
you?
Oh, no, we cannot hear you. Let me see whether I need to. I've got that you're allowed to unmute yourself, so that should not be the problem. Now I see that she's okay. So I can see do you see, Jane, that Michelle's putting in the chat that she got a weird pop-up about her
Yes.
microphone not being paired?
Yes. I read her chat. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Michelle, since obviously you are able to chat in chat, if you want to comment.
All right.
And
But
Jane and
nobody
I,
else is on, right?
no one
Yes.
else is on.
Okay. Well, good morning, Michelle, or good afternoon, or whatever it is at this point.
Still morning,
Right.
at least East Coast
For a
time.
little while. Yes. Yes. Any news from anybody?
Say
Mary,
again?
Mary Jo's not on, I guess. Okay.
No, everyone else bailed. Mary Jo, I think, bailed much earlier than she usually does. It may even have been before the service was over.
Okay.
I
Well,
suspect
I'll touch
I-
base with her later.
that would be great.
Yeah.
I suspect maybe John needed her attention.
Yeah. That's more and more every day. Yes. Well, it's understandable.
Yes,
You know.
it is.
Right. And how's your family, Richard? Where's Joan?
Joni's at home. She's much more tired than she has been.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't remember whether I said last Sunday that she's on a new dialysis prescription
I
at
was
this
going to
point.
say her treatment may be changed.
And her treatment did change, and it could be that she's more tired with that. She seems to be healthier. At the same time, she's had a cough now for 2 weeks, I think.
Oh,
It's
my.
it's better than it was, but it's still there. So I'm sure that's knocking it out of her as well.
Well, I hope that's nothing serious that's interfering with her treatment.
No, I don't think it's interfering with their treatment. It just And she tends to continue to not want to go to bed until late in the evening or early in the morning. And of course, that then means that with the hour and a half extra she has of treatment, um, she may not get out of bed until 11 o'clock or noon.
Well, okay. I mean, you know, she has to do what her body feels like she should do.
Exactly.
Right. To get the benefits of what she's going through. Yes.
Yeah. The
Well, give her my best and tell her
I
I'm
sure
thinking
will.
about her. Okay.
I sure, yes, indeed. Okay, Michelle, signing off. We can see.
Yes, I'm going to sign off too. Thank
Okay.
you, Richard.
Oh, you're so welcome. Take care.
You too.
Bye bye.